Hello again, folks. It's Matt Heuser here. This week I want to talk about how to make testing fun. You remember what we've learned so far? People think testing is boring, so they don't do it. They want to put it off. They do it in their spare discretionary time because we don't really have a way to measure. We'll find the problems later. Who is responsible is probably not kept track of. So if you do really good work testing, the whole team faces a negative incentive because there's more work thrown onto you, which is the fixing and the retesting. If you do a not very good job, you actually get to done sooner. So in the short term, there's a strong positive incentive to do not your best work when it comes to testing. But actual testing is fun. It's pleasant. It can fire the dopamine, maybe the endorphins, maybe the serotonin in the human brain can light you up. But most of what we do is not testing at all. It's data setup. It's building environments. It's waiting for someone else to do something else. And we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that are hard to keep track of at a time, all waiting for finally a thing that's ready to go. Are we ready to go work on it? No, we're doing some data setup. No, finally we get back to it. We work on the thing. All of that causes drag and delay on the system. So how can we make testing fun? Just a couple of real simple ideas. The first one is obvious that we don't do it. Figure out all the things that distract us and take us away from doing the work. Data setup, environment setup, waiting, multitasking. Get them out of the way. Find a way to be more focused on the work itself. Then we have the next problem, which is the work itself, which is an infinite treadmill. If you know what you're doing, you will always have more test ideas than you have time. But we can take that and flip it on its head. Knowing that we have more test ideas than we have time. How can we structure our time to do the most powerful, most influential, valuable ideas first? How can we create the sorted list, the risk census of all the things that we're worried about? How can we publish that risk census? How can we figure out realistically, with the way things are going, we're going to get about halfway down the page. How do we get everyone else to look at that published list and say, yeah, that's the right things. That's the right order. So that we either need to say, I'm going to give you more time because I care about the things at the bottom, or the things at the bottom aren't really that important. Then, when we get a problem that comes in from the field, oh my gosh, the Quidgy has a problem because when you enter 4 in the drop down and select, and all these other conditions are indicated, you get this goofy miscalculation. Why didn't we identify that risk? We did! It's in our census. It's at the bottom. Everyone agreed that those problems are small enough that we need to worry about the things at the top more. Here's the list of the 17 things at the top that we found. Which of them are less important than this Quidgy error? Oh, none of them. Okay, so we made a good investment of our time. Then, structuring the work. An 8-hour day of actually doing testing is, again, it feels like an infinite treadmill. Even if it is time boxed, even if it is okay at the end of that time to say, well, it's going out, like we're out of time, even if it is noon from 12 to, or excuse me, from 8 a.m. to noon, we're going to test, we're going to make a decision, and then we're going to deploy. I'm speaking mostly of whole system regression, which we could have conversations about how to get the organization to a maturity level where we don't need that anymore. Many of the organizations I work with don't, but if we ever have to do an extended amount of testing, more than half an hour, even a feature that takes more than half an hour to really explore well, a story, that becomes less fun. Also, there's no structure to it. So I tested. It's not so good. I ran through the acceptance criteria. They passed, and then I did some stuff. It's not that good. So there's an old idea, session-based test management, that broke the work into half-hour chunks. And in software programming, we have the idea of the Pomodoro, which is it's based on the tomato timer, which is you do half an hour of work, take a break. And you try to have some objective goal for the end of that. So imagine you have an hour and a half of feature testing. You break it down into 3 30-minute chunks. You describe at a high level what the goals are for each chunk. Maybe by the time you get to the third one, you find it's not relevant. Still, you write down what you're doing and what you find as you go along. Maybe you file some bugs. Maybe you're at a mature organization. You just go tell a developer. Maybe you slice your stories so thin that you never have more than 30 minutes of testing work to do at a time. Those are all great things. But if we can focus on the work in small chunks, then we can feel that success. I've never written a book. I've edited a book and working on a book now, and there's a very different feeling as you just don't get. You need to find a way to get a success feeling. Like I finished a chapter. I finished a section of a chapter. This chapter went into editing. I got the feedback. I can edit the feedback and send it back again. You need to break the overwhelming down into small chunks that you can say, I finished something. And if you have notes of what you did that can go somewhere, take a picture, throw them in version control, throw them on SharePoint, throw them on whatever your shared drive is, throw them wherever you can put them to attach them to say, this is the work that was actually done. You'll get that feeling of satisfaction. And maybe those notes are actually worth looking at and considering in the future. Now, this is very different than write down everything in a this step, check it into a system so the next person that comes can check out those tests and rerun them. I want to enable the human being to explore. And we can talk in future videos about how this combines with tooling, how this combines with delivery. Right now, I'm just talking about that pure technical investigation to uncover risk. There'll be more to come, but I'm already at 8 minutes. Thank you for your time today. And if you want, I didn't say it. It's kind of like an Easter egg hunt. So we're trying to make this fun, right? We reframe our brain away from, I got to do the things to make sure it does the thing, to instead, there's uncertainty. There's unknown variables here. There's something going on. I'm gonna discover. I'm a Star Trek. So if you can look over here, what is that red circle thing, like the big cylinder, and what is that green diamond thing? And put a comment on YouTube. I don't know. I'll give you some kind of something. Gift card to Panera or something. Let's look around, investigate to discover. It's a blast. I hope you have fun. I'm having fun. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.